Hello children, welcome to Form 7. The first lesson for the term is Limited Companies. We will be learning this lesson in 3 videos. This is the first video on the financial statements of limited companies. You will learn how to prepare the financial statements in accordance with International Accounting Standard IAS 1. These financial statements include two that you are familiar with from your AS syllabus: the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, and the SOFP. You will also learn about a new financial statement prepared by limited companies known as the Statement of Changes in Equity. After you have studied this chapter, you should be able to understand the nature of limited companies and explain the meaning of limited liability. Prepare financial statements in accordance with IAS 1 to include the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, the statement of changes in equity, and the statement of financial position. Explain the role and importance of the auditor's report and the director's report. Evaluate the importance of disclosing continuing and discontinued activities and the significance of exceptional items. Have any of you considered what differences might be there for limited companies when compared to sole traders and partnerships? The setup, capital requirement, liability, and many others would be considered as differences. Will accounting concepts apply for financial statements of limited companies? Yes, they will. Before starting this chapter, it would be wise to practice questions on financial statements learnt in AS. Now we will look at the differences of limited companies with sole traders and partnerships. The company is a separate legal entity where the owners would be the shareholders and the company would be managed by the directors. Unlike sole traders or partnerships, limited companies have the limited liability for the shareholders. The corporation tax would be charged from the business, not from the shareholders, and the shareholders would receive their share of profit in the form of dividends. Why do limited companies exist? The existence would be all because of the above discussed differences. In addition, the limited companies have the ability to raise more capital as they have more security towards the shareholders because of the limited liability. Children, the format of statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income is similar to the sole trader's income statement you are preparing. The only difference is that the SOCI includes fewer details in the statement and additional notes should be provided as workings. The final total would be recorded in the SOCI. As usual, start with the revenue. This should be the net revenue after adjusting return inwards. We will look at the cost of sales and expenses in the next slides. Profit on ordinary activities before tax. This is the remainder after deducting the expenses from the gross profit. Corporation tax is the amount of tax paid to the government. This is recorded after the profit on ordinary activities before tax. Profit on ordinary after tax is the remaining profit after deducting the corporation tax from the profit before tax. The profit after tax will be distributed among the shareholders as dividends. The cost of sales should be shown as a separate note as given in the slide. Here, the cost of sales will include the same content as that of a sole trader together with some costs which are related when producing a product. Discounts received would be deducted from the cost of sales because the discounts are received for the purchases of raw materials. Direct expenses need to be added to the cost of sales. This can be direct cost other than direct material costs. Depreciation on non-current assets related to factory usage would be added to the cost of sales. Maintenance costs are the costs which are directly linked with the product, so add it to the cost of sales. Did you identify that the cost of sales content is similar to that of a manufacturer? And the other point is that cost of sales would include two types of inventory: opening and closing of raw materials and finished goods. The cost of sales would be in this format if the information provided is for both manufacturing and trading. Remember to get the total effect of the inventory to the cost of sales when both opening and closing inventories are provided. After all the entries, you can get the total cost of sales which needs to be deducted from the net revenue. Next would be the other income, which is the revenue received from non-trading activities. Bank interest received is an other income. If there are more than one income, you should need to have a separate note for other income as well. Next, we will move to the expenses. Children, all the expenses we have are categorized into 3 types. In this slide, we will look at the distribution costs. The distribution cost will include the expenses which have been incurred related to selling and distribution of a product. This may include expenses such as depreciation on delivery vehicles, marketing costs, storage costs. Only the total value will be shown in the SOCI. You are required to show the detailed breakdown in the notes. Look at the format of distribution costs note. The second category of expense is administration expenses. This would contain expenses regarding the administration or the office work of the company. This may include rent, depreciation of office equipment, office staff wages. Apart from these, irrecoverable debts and allowance for irrecoverable debts would be recorded here. Look at the content given in the slide. This shows the third type of expenses, financial costs. This means the expenses related to all the finance sources such as bank loan interest paid, debenture interest, interest on bank ODs. This is also shown as a note. Look at the format of the finance costs. Here is an example question. I will be helping you in this sum to solve the question. The question requires only the notes for distribution costs and cost of sales. Okay, we will go through all the information available to answer the question. Read the additional information. Check whether there are any adjustments for the amounts given above. Direct materials should be recorded under cost of sales as there are no adjustments. You can directly consider 135,000 to record. Discount received is the same, but you need to deduct this. Factory machinery carrying value is given. We need this for the calculation of depreciation. The depreciation method and the percentages are given in the additional information as reducing balance method at 20%. We need to get 20% to the value given and the calculated answer to the cost of sales as the depreciation is related to the factory. Note that we directly calculated 20% of the non-current asset value given because the non-current asset has been given as a carrying value, which is after deducting all the depreciation amounts up to the previous year. Next is fuel. There is a ratio for us to apportion the fuel value given. 2/11 to the factory and 9/11 to the distribution. Opening inventory of finished goods will go under cost of sales. Marketing and promotion expenses is a distribution expense. Motor lorries carrying value is given as 51,000. Get 25% of it as depreciation on motor lorries under distribution expenses. Power is also required to be apportioned using a given ratio. We will see 4:2:1 is the ratio. 4/7 is for the factory, that is the amount goes under cost of sales. 2/7 to the distribution expenses and 1/7 is for office. Can you remember where we record office related expenses? It should be under administration expenses. Next is rent on warehouse. This is a storage cost which is related to distribution expenses. Revenue is £543,500. Children, do we need revenue to record under either of the topics? We need it for a calculation. In additional information, one point states about a commission of 1% on revenue. So calculate 1% on revenue to see how much commission has been paid. Record it under distribution expenses. Next is vehicle running cost. It is regarding distribution. So directly record it under distribution expenses. Wages are given as 172,000. Can you see the breakdown for wages is available under additional information? From the given breakdown, delivery staff wages is for distribution expenses, office staff wages should go under administration expenses, factory staff needs to be added to the cost of sales. Last, sales staff wages will again go under the distribution expenses as sales staff is related to selling. Distribution expenses includes expenses related to selling and distribution both. This is a question for you to attempt alone. Here the requirement is to prepare a SOCI including notes only financial expenses. This is because other titles might not have entries more than one. In order to have a separate note, there should be more than one entry. If not, you can directly record it in the SOCI. We will look at the benefits and limitations of classifying costs in the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income. The limited companies may enjoy the following benefits. It allows the users to see a standard presentation that will allow them to compare different companies. It may allow a company to see how different sections of the business perform each year. This will help with internal decision making. The classification would reduce the length of the statement and make it easier to go through. In contrast, there are limitations as well. The classification would make the production more complex as some costs are to be allocated and apportioned. As stated in the benefits, it would not be easy for the amounts to be compared as companies may use different bases to allocate and apportion costs. For the classification, more time and staff would be required, which in return would be a cost to the company. Next, we will move to the SOFP. The format of this is very similar to what you have learned so far. The only difference is there in the equity section. Equity section may consist of a good breakdown of equity and reserves. Remember to name all the total figures and the headlines in the SOFP. There might be intangible assets in the question. This should be under non-current assets. All the tangible assets should be adjusted with depreciation and recorded as a common figure in the name of property, plant and equipment. Investment is another asset recorded under non-current assets. These could be shares bought from another company. Cash and cash equivalent under current asset is the amount of cash plus any short-term investments that are readily convertible into cash. As mentioned earlier, equity is in two types as share capital and reserves. Share capital is the amount invested in the business, whereas reserves are the profit that has not been distributed among the shareholders of the company. Share capital would be in two types as ordinary shares and preference shares. There are several types of reserves. For the moment, we will be learning only few of the reserves. First, share premium reserve is created when selling shares above the nominal value. Second, revaluation reserve is created when non-current assets are revalued above the carrying value. Third, general reserve is a transfer of profit to a reserve for a non-specific purpose. Fourth, retained earnings is the profit collected for years without distributing to the shareholders. Short-term borrowings would be a bank overdraft and short-term bank loans repayable within 1 year. So this amount will be recorded under current liabilities. Corporation tax payable is again a current liability. This tax is charged on the profit but won't be able to pay, which is why it is recorded as a current liability until it's paid. Provision is Again, a liability of uncertain timing or amount. It can be a provision for warranty. This is an example question on SOFP. Now we will start doing this sum with a good understanding. Read through the information provided. 4% bank loan is repayable in 2029, and according to the sum we are in 2019, so it can be considered as a non-current liability. Bank is a current asset. Building is a non-current asset. Cash is again a current asset. General reserve is to be recorded under reserves. Goodwill is an intangible non-current asset. Inventories need to be recorded under current asset. Motor vehicle cost and the accumulated depreciation should be considered to calculate the depreciation using reducing balance method at 10%. This would be required for the property, plant and equipment calculation. Ordinary shares can be recorded directly under share capital section. Other payables would be another current liability for the company. Provision is again a current liability. With the trade payables you may record in the SOFP. Retained earnings and revaluation reserve should be recorded under the equity section. Trade receivables are a current asset. Bank loan interest and the corporation tax payable is added both these payable figures to the other payables. Now record the values in the correct places to balance the SOFP. Statement of changes in equity is a financial statement that shows the changes that has taken place over time to the shareholders' investment in the company. It is a more detailed account of the equity section in SOFP. For a limited company, the equity will be opening equity plus equity introduced plus retained earnings plus profit after tax less dividends. Here is an example for you to understand the statement of changes in equity. Read the question well. There are 3 opening balances provided and additional information. The number of columns of this statement depends on the types of equity provided. For this example, we need 5 columns. Ordinary shares, share premium, retained earnings, revaluation reserve and the total equity. Mention the currency you work with in each column. In this sum, you will be working in millions, so state million in each column. First, start with the opening balances given. Second, it is a revaluation. Non-current asset has a carrying value of £200,000 which has been revalued to £300,000. So, for the statement, we should consider by how much the asset has been revalued. Here it is £100,000. 300,000 minus £200,000. This should be added to the revaluation reserve and to the total equity. Show the working. Next is a dividend payment of £700,000. We should deduct it from the retained earnings. Then record the profit after tax for the year of £2.5 million. Add it to the retained earnings. This is where profits are collected. Children, do remember that you should show the total effect of each row in the total column. Finally, get the total of each column at the bottom row. The cell which meets when you go in the last row and in the total equity should balance either way. That is how you can check whether you have done this statement correctly. Auditor is an individual who examines the financial records and the financial statements of limited companies. These auditors could be internal or external to the company. The internal auditors would be employees of the company, but the external auditors would be independent as they don't work for the company which they are auditing. External auditors would be appointed by the shareholders of the company, because of which the external auditors are responsible to report to the shareholders. The internal auditors would examine the control procedures of the company. External auditors would ensure that the financial records and financial statements provided are true and fair way. And the other role of the external auditor is to ensure that The financial statements are being prepared complying to the legal guidelines as in IAS 1 presentation of financial statements. Children note the words true and fair. The independent auditors would release their report mentioning that the accounts are true and fair. This means the auditors won't guarantee that the financial statements are free from errors. To check into that depth, the auditors would need more documents and more analysis. Auditors are responsible to check whether the company has used concepts. Director's report has published statements to check whether the company complies with the corporate governance. Corporate governance is the system and procedures by which companies are controlled and directed. This mainly focuses on ethics. Furthermore, corporate governance recognizes that the company should look after the interests of all stakeholders, not only the shareholders. Can you see the image here? This is an auditor's report. Read what the topic is. Independent auditor's report. Then check for whom they have addressed. It is for the shareholders of the company, not for someone else, because shareholders have appointed the auditors. Then there are three main sections in this report. First, the management's responsibility for the financial statements. Here, the director's responsibility of preparing financial statements and auditor's responsibility is forming an opinion on the above mentioned financial statements. Next is the basis of opinion. This would express how the audit was carried out by the external auditors as to what accounting standards were checked on. Third is the opinion. This is an overall assessment of the financial statements by the auditors. The word true and fair would be stated here. This opinion can be found in four types. First type is an unqualified opinion. This is when the auditors are satisfied with the financial statements of a company which seems to be true and fair. Second is a qualified opinion. Here the auditors might feel that some areas don't seem to be true and fair. So the shareholders will be informed by the term qualified opinion. Third, adverse opinion. This opinion would be given to the shareholders when the company's financial statements don't seem to be true and fair. Fourth is disclaimer opinion. This is when the company does not provide enough information to provide a proper judgment. Director's report is a summary of the main activities that have happened during the year and details changes in those activities. The report includes a review of the past year's trading activities, the position at the year end, a summary of future trading prospects, significant changes to non-current assets, recommendations for dividends for the current year, any significant financial events that have happened since the date of the SOFP that is likely to affect future operations, and other items that are non-financial in nature, including information about environmental matters, the company's employees, and social and community issues. The image you can see is only one page of the director's report. Click the references given below. The first reference is of an annual report of Kingsbury plc. Scroll and read the pages from 38 to 42 for the complete direct report. Being in a dynamic world, the businesses may have to constantly change. There can be businesses who open new operations while some might close down operations in one place to relocate the same operation in another country. All these continuing and discontinuing operations are to be recorded clearly in the books of accounts. So, continuing operations will refer to the activities that the company expects to be engaged in the future, and discontinued operations are those activities that have been stopped or sold off. Recording revenue and expenses of each operation separately would provide a better and a clear idea for the users of accounts. In addition, more investors could be attracted to the company if the continuing operations run favorably. This would be either a gain or a loss, which would be exceptional, fall within the ordinary activities of the business. These exceptional items would occur during the normal operating activities of the company. They are not expected to be recurring, and their nature and amounts are material to the users of the financial statements. Disposal of non-current assets, restructuring costs, redundancy payments for staff, or revenue from any large one-off contract would be an exceptional item for the business. Children, now we will revise the lesson. Don't forget that a limited company is identified as a legal entity. According to the business entity concept, the company and the owners identified as two different parties. Even though limited companies are owned by shareholders, they are managed by directors. There are four categories of costs or expenses in the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income. They are cost of sales, distribution expenses, administration expenses, and financial expenses. Intangible assets are assets without physical substance but which have a monetary value, such as goodwill and patents. Share premium reserve, retained earnings, and capital redemption reserve are some types of reserves. Closing equity of a limited company would be calculated by adding together the opening equity, equity invested, retained earnings, and profit after tax minus dividends. Share premium account is created when shares are issued at a price above the nominal value. Corporate governance is the systems and procedures by which companies are controlled and directed with the interest of all stakeholders and long-term success of the business. Here are two references. First reference is for you to read and understand how director's report is. Second reference is for you to watch and learn more about statement of changes in equity. This is the end of the lesson, financial statements of a limited company. Thank you for listening.